Wow. Before I start, I just want to get to all the thank yous. To the selection committee and to all the brothers who serve this fraternity behind the scenes with no applause, thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for this honor that I'm still not sure I deserve. To Tim, who nominated me, and to everyone who wrote, called, and quietly pushed for me to be standing here. I know what you all did, and I am forever grateful. And before any of this were the brothers who mentored me when I first showed up at Indiana State. Al Perone, who's sitting right over there, Dave Stowe, Jim Brownell, and Mark Poisel. They took a green kid who didn't know a soul and made them one of their own. To my mom and dad, who watched every step of my life carry me farther away from home and cheered anyway. They didn't know the world I was headed into, they just knew that they wanted it for me. They were the absolute best parents a kid could have, and I wish they were here to see this. And to my dream girl, my wife, Barb, in 11 days, Barb and I will celebrate 36 years of marriage. Barb, you're the one I've trusted to actually know where we're going. You made every version of my future bigger and better than one I would have had by myself. Through every leap we took, you had faith when I didn't, you held on to hope when things got hard, and through all of it, always, you loved me. None of this, not one chapter, happens without you. Thank you, and I love you. So, you just heard from the man I wanted to say a few words about today. I joined this fraternity largely because of Ed Pease. He was our chapter advisor at Indiana State and a fellow small-town Hoosier who'd gone on to law school and then to Congress. That was a path I had honestly never seen up close. But the thing I remember about Ed was not his resume. It was a belief that he held quietly and stubbornly. He believed this fraternity could be different, that it could stand apart from the stereotype, that the chapter could really be a place that made better men. And here's what really mattered. He didn't just believe it. He built it day by day, year by year, and for my brothers at Theta Omicron, Smythe by Smythe. There's a pattern tonight that I don't think is an accident. The Powers Award goes to the best undergraduate in the fraternity. The Order of West Range goes to its alumni. In the entire history of Pi Kappa Alpha, exactly one man has ever held both, Ed. And here tonight, his list picks up a second name. He walked through both of those doors first, the Powers and the Order of West Range, and tonight on that screen, he came back to walk me through the second, still showing me the path, still pulling me through. There's no one I would rather have introduce me. Now, I've read the list of people who've received this award. It is humbling in a way that's almost funny. I am now on a list with 4-star generals, with Tim McGraw, who made Taylor Swift famous, with the man who edits the New York Times crossword puzzle that we can't finish, and with Colonel Harlan Sanders, who I'd just like to point out didn't franchise Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was in his 60s. So let me be honest with you, I'm not the obvious name on this list. Graduate school, Silicon Valley, robotics, a PhD, none of those were even in my vocabulary. I assumed my future would unfold in a straight line, one reasonable step at a time. It did not. There was a box on a graduate school application to Carnegie Mellon, a school that I considered a very big long shot for someone with my background. The box was labeled interests. I wrote 4 words on it: robotics and computer vision. That was it, just 4 words. And also for all the young people who remember, in the spring of 1990, there was no email, no phones, no text, just paper applications and landlines. A few weeks later, a professor named Takeo Kanade, a legend in the field of robotics, though I didn't know it yet, read those 4 words and picked up the phone and called my dorm room number. I wasn't home, but I came back to a note taped to the door in my roommate's handwriting that simply said, Takeo Kanade called. When I called him back, Takeo got straight to the point. Would I consider a brand new PhD program? Then came the part I'll never forget. He was flying to Japan the next morning, and he needed my answer before his plane took off, so that he could then take my application and manually push it to the right department. One night, Barb and I had never been Pittsburgh ever, but we said yes. A note on the door, 4 words on a form, an overnight yes, standing where you are now. I could never have told you those small things were the beginning of everything. A few years later, I helped build a car that steered itself across the country, hands off the wheel, coast to coast. And midway through that trip, about 5.9 miles down the road, Barb and I renewed our 5-year wedding vows. Hands were off the wheel then in more ways than one. And I'd like to tell you I planned all of that, but I didn't. Here's what I learned riding in that car. A self-driving car can only see a little way down the road. It never really gets the whole map of the country. It sees the next stretch of pavement, trusts it, and goes. And then the next stretch, and then the next. That's how it crossed a continent. And that is exactly how life works. I kept running the same play. 2 years after that trip, we committed to building a fully self-driving car before anyone even had an idea how to do it, and we did it. Years later, I committed to turning a below-average football team into a state championship before I knew how, and we did it twice. Now, the point of this isn't the outcome. The point of this is you have to commit to the road first. Then you have to find your people. Then drive the next stretch and the next stretch. So, to the hundreds of you who are undergraduates here today, you're sitting where I sat, and you cannot see the whole road from where you are. Neither could I. But just like that car, it was never just wandering. It knew its destination the whole time. It wanted to get to the Pacific Ocean. So do both, undergraduates. Pick your ocean, something big enough to scare you a little. Then trust the next stretch to carry you forward. And you don't have to be the obvious one. I wasn't. Colonel Sanders wasn't. What you have right now is a room full of people who built this fraternity to be different. People who will notice you, invest in you, and point yourself to a bigger horizon than you can see for yourself. That's not a small thing. That's the whole thing. Another man who received this award before me back in 1994 was Stephen Covey, who wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He left behind a line I wish I had at 19. Live out of your imagination, he said, not your history. Covey wrote books to teach the world, and these days I'm writing some too, to teach my kids. It's a memoir series, 5 books, 1 life. I didn't have far to look for its title, Dare to Be Great. Because Thoreau was right, and I believe this strongly. Most men live lives of quiet desperation. So what I tell my kids is what I'm telling you today. You get 1 life. Don't live it muted. Take the 4-word leap. Answer the phone. Be the chapter Ed believed in. 31 years ago, I rolled into this city with no hands in the wheel and renewed a marriage I'm still in. Standing here then, I could not have seen this day when I received this award. Not in this room and not a single one of you. So how do you travel a road you can't see? The same way we did, faithful and true. Faithful to your family, your brothers, your word, because on a road with no map, the people riding with you are everything. And true to who you really are deep inside. Not the straight line you thought you were supposed to walk. Your next stretch starts right outside those doors, and I hope it doesn't feel comfortable. Dare to be great, thank you. And Ed, back home again in Indiana, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Really awesome. Thank you. That's great.